RemanX here, and today we're going to be answering a huge question. We're going to be talking about Asgardians. We're going to be playing around with some ISOs. We got a few different selections to play with and challenge. What's interesting about them is I really feel like the kits might have some additional utility outside of war. But one of the things that I was finding was I was trying to determine how to make sure Infinity Watch was an easy counter. And one of the concerns I had was using like the Striker and some of the Skirmisher combination to try to land debuffs. I was finding that I wasn't pushing the taunt on the target to basically force out the damage onto either Phyla-Vell or on the Moondragon. And so we kind of settled on Raider. But all that aside, we're going to talk about some of the functionality, some of the things that persist after death, some of the passives that you can stop with stun, and we're going to go into all that right here, right now. So if you guys don't remember, Heimdall's passive persists when he's stunned or dead. So he has one of those unique passives. The team is unblindable forever once his presence is on the field. So once he is there, unless you kill it and back out, he will apply the immune to blind. So the 100% accuracy bonus, that immunity to blind, is going to persist past death. Now, a couple of things we wanted to test here, which we specifically wanted to test Valkyrie. When she was stunned, would her passive trigger? So that's why I'm using Darkhold here, because Darkhold really is one of the few teams that can control them well enough for me to single target and bring this out to test some specifics here, which again makes me think that there's going to be a counter down the road that's going to be an obvious for this team. So you're going to see once we stun Valkyrie and then we kill a character, we're going to see if any of those debuffs apply. Now, again, you got to watch for the fact that I got several disrupts here, which will prevent the application of some of the buffs if she were to die anyway. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we're going to get a nice kill here. We're probably going to take out Thor just to make sure we don't get any extra damage, and then find out if when Thor dies, how that passive works. So really quickly, remember, she's going to be stunned for 2 turns here. So this is something to remember, characters with stun. So I did test things like Secret Avengers Kestrel, and depending on the power level, they had some success. But you'll see right there, her passive doesn't trigger when stunned. So that's a question that I had that'll help us understand kind of potential counters for this team as more and more characters come to the game that can stun on first turn. So very, very key to kind of lock in on that. So hopefully that'll help you guys with your own theory crafting. We did some testing in there. So remember, Heimdall's passive persists past death. Valkyrie only persists worth 1. So if you kill her, she'll do it 1 time. Same thing if she's stunned and then you kill her, it won't happen at all. So something to be aware of. So right now we're going to go through kind of to showcase, some people were saying they had luck with their Infinity Watch versus this team. And we're gonna talk about this right now. So I was able to beat this last night before she changed this all to Raiders. But I want you guys to see the raw damage. Now remember, the biggest thing that Nebula is doing there right now, Nebula's sole purpose is to apply evades for the first turn. She literally has no other purpose because they're not going to be assisting as much. Again, she does apply damage and has a percent heal on her basic. But this is one of the things about this team is if you leave them vulnerable to Infinity Watch, then I don't think they're as powerful as a war defense team. So we're going to start with the obvious. We want to make sure we go around the world here and get to our favorite targets. Now, I will say this. You can put it on her with the hopes that you can mark her first and then remove the immunity and then remove the taunt later on. But I do find that I just try to do as much damage to Thor early on so I don't trigger this. And hopefully that I can remove it with, specifically remove it with the attack from Moondragon. So going into Thor, trying to get this barrier up, we're going to see what happens with this damage level here. Okay, so hopefully this removes it all. It did not, and see, that's the thing. They actually got a bunch of bonus resistance. All right, now here comes the big damage numbers. All right, so we want to power up here. And that crit is just devastating. We try to get this counter up as best we can here. Now, the interesting thing about this position is we'll have a chance to get 2 stuns in on targets. Being able to stun Lady Thor is actually a pretty big deal here. Going to prevent a lot of damage and a lot of additional problems from coming in. All right, Thor's on the ropes here. And Thor goes down. Now, here comes the big deal. They're going to clear all the buffs and become immune. Now, this is when the damage has to start shining, because these guys got all their death proofs. They were able to steal it from Sif. And you're going to start seeing that just that critical damage is putting them into the red really, really fast. Doesn't matter with the debuffs because they're just realistically just putting them into massive amounts of damage. And you see that it's running a little bit slow, but you can see the 300k hit. So that crit damage just took Moondragon off the map, right? So we thought we had a chance here, but that quickly seems to be expiring. I would probably, if I could, I would try to get into Valkyrie as soon as possible to prevent her passive from triggering. But you can see that this is just going to be a nightmare team, because with the Raider on this team, they just apply consistent damage in the 100Ks that takes your million point team and just destroys them. Okay, so same thing. We'll have evade briefly here. So Sif with her rework has become a massive and tank, almost impossible to get through. Now that Gamora has died, this is going to be a significant challenge for them to finish off. So we probably could play it a little bit differently and potentially get the win, but there's that. So the bonus damage that's being provided by Raider is a factor of about 45% bonus on the characters when they have it. So it far exceeds that extra, I think it's 32% damage single target, on a single target, when you're looking at the bonus damage being applied at the base with that. So those numbers are quite a bit higher, and the crits are more consistent. So the overall damage potential from Raider does seem to catch up over here. So then the other thing is there's an obvious counter, and we're going to go through the obvious counter, and we're going to go kind of just, and again, I want you guys to be aware of this. This is going to be part of, I think, the challenge going forward, is sometimes there may be power levels where this counter won't work. So in early war, I haven't been able to test this because the test server, we're giving normalized offenses. There's some potential that this won't work. We're going to go ahead and show you guys this right away. So let's do, I got to find where I put my Eternal team. And the Eternals have had the best luck so far. We'll even try some A-Force with them. So we'll try this with Falcon. We'll talk about this, but I still think that there's a chance that the team's going to just recover and then rebound too fast. So you're gonna need this time. Again, this was from the test center, the test server. This shouldn't be a surprise to you. I think Dorky and Mobile Gamer had this on their video over there. So something you guys can note from that as well. Okay, here we go. All right, first things first, because you can flip that defense early on, it's pretty straightforward. All right, so the biggest thing for me is I'm going to try to kill Valkyrie. So I want to mark Valkyrie to make sure Valkyrie is ready to go. See, there's that death, which can cause a bit of a problem. There's that speed up. And again, because you got all that extra speed, I think you easily get through them. Then you're gonna want to take out. Yeah, so this is where it gets a little wonky. Lady Thor can actually drop the trauma on him and prevent them from doing their thing, so you have to get her out of the way. If she dropped trauma right there, there's a small chance you're going to lose. So early in war, you guys saw that even these guys couldn't get through him that easily. So Uncanny works interestingly well. We did Uncanny last night. We're going to show Uncanny with specifically, because I showed it last night. Now that there's some different ISOs, we'll definitely have it because there's some people there that saw me play it last night, but I want to show the element of ruin. Uncanny works, but it doesn't work reliably enough where I'm going to make a recommendation to use it in war. And so I did it on my stream, and I heard some people recommend it to other people, and I just want to make sure before you run away with this one, I'm going to show you why it has the potential to fail and fail badly. So Goddess with the Raider is going to give us the best chance to kind of showcase that, because again, that reciprocal damage from Thor is going to become even more deadly. And that's the big key here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to practice on this team. We're going to use my Uncanny X-Men, which are probably as big as you're going to see in some of the big leagues here. So again, her team is crazy. So I'm going to be punching up, I think, about 80 to 150K, something like that. So just be aware that even if they were mirror matched, it wouldn't be that much different. So I'll show you guys here. There's one team that has the best other chance would be actually Unlimited X-Men, and it's very similar. They have a very similar mechanic with the crit. It's very interesting to see this crit mechanic becoming part of the way that they're designing these teams. So Unlimited does beat them, but I think they're more valuable on defense. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that. If you guys want me to walk through the limited counter, I'll do it as a separate video when Rogue is fully powered. So you guys let me know in the comments here below if you guys want me to show you guys that counter and how to play that one out, in my opinion, the best way to give you guys the best chance of success. I have to figure out where it's running a little bit slow here on BlueStacks, so forgive me for the time I'm taking here. And they're right there. So a little bit lower in power, and by a little bit, we're talking about, 130K, 230K punch up. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to just watch how easy it is to fail this. So the thing about it is the team is slow, so they're going to be vulnerable to Storm's stun. That being said, they aren't that easy to beat. All right, so we're going to start off right off the bat. And then offense down, we're going to pull that off, which is very important. Remember, they start with offense down, so that's actually a big deal. So the problem you may have is if you do not stun Thor and you get stuck behind Sif, you could easily lose this match. That's why she's a skirmisher, because you want to mark her right away and hopefully clear that immunity from her for the next set of options if they kill Phoenix. So I'm going to do the special again here. Try to get through that taunt here. So Thor is about to explode. All right. So then you're going to be able to do the special pretty quickly here. You're going to want to get some death proofs up on your tank here. We're going to get the death proofs off of Sif, which should allow us to hopefully survive all of this and be able to do the wombo combo here. We killed Sif, which is actually unfortunate. And you can see that the crits are just doing so much damage that it's literally why I've been recommending Raider. It's really hard to recover from. The crit bonus on that is just insane. All right, so we'll try it one more time because I want you guys to show the power of Raider. Because by not putting Raider, you're losing a factor about 45% damage per hit. And you can see that the debuffs mattered not in that fight. The debuffs matter not. One more time just to get it out there. We'll try a different play. We won't kill Sif this time. We'll try not to avoid that, to keep the defense down. Make sure we don't speed the team up and get all the debuffs removed. That slow would have prevented some of those actions from taking place. But if you guys are having luck, it's probably against teams that don't have the Raiders. All right, here we go. So there's something interesting about the Valk charges. They matter for her chain ability, get the chain, and the bonus healing when a character dies. But when they start dying, this team falls apart a little bit. So I don't necessarily worry about the charges too much. The charges really matter for Thor and for Mighty Thor. All right. So again, you're watching for the stuns. All right, we got a stun on Thor. So this should be a win. Right? So that's really kind of, if that's where you want to place your bets, guys. Not sure that's the game I want to play. But we'll see. We'll see if we can pull a win out of this one. Okay. Try to clear this. Now if you get a stun on Valkyrie, remember then you don't have to worry about the deaths either. Alright. We want him to kill Phoenix ASAP here. Oh my goodness. And you can see just that clear. They flip the defense up on because remember the base resistance that he has, the defense up is really easy to flip. They flip it up on him pretty quickly. We got to go into Sif or into Valkyrie here. We might kill her, so we got to be careful. All right, we'll do the drain. That drain didn't trigger the death proof. All right, here we go. So we'll start, because she's slowed, we're going to start, oh, and this is bad. But we'll start with this, hopefully get some people down here. We got one down, so Valk didn't apply her passive on death. But that retaliate from Thor with that crit damage, you can see just how hard that's hitting. All right, so now we've got to clear all this with Phoenix, and then kill them all with, well, it's not going to happen. So even in the best case scenario, the Raider is definitely pulling out way ahead. So again, that's a massive punch up. If I found a team with all Raider on my flight deck, I can probably find one closer. It would probably be a little bit closer, but again, in those close war fights, you want to try to reduce it down to at least a 25% win chance. So I gave you guys the best team I think is out there. We'll do some more stuff if you guys want to see the unlimited counter. We can showcase that, but they do have the best chance. Anyway, guys, remember, so all Raider, I was surprised at that even for Sif, because it didn't matter when it came down to taunting. Just that overall damage, flipping the defense down. The flips don't require as much focus, because you guys saw the Raider just flip it on my 7 red star Colossus. Because they're flipping buffs, they're going to actually provide more damage through that. And the stuns don't matter. They probably will. We're going into the Scourge when it comes down to control. All those blinds, all those stuns will be important when we reset our ISOs for the Scourges. That being said, hope you guys enjoy this. Check you guys soon. Love you much. And I do things so you don't have to. And yeah, this has been a long day of testing for you. See you soon.